Alright. Let's just do this, shall we? I was so eager to play this game. Wolfed down my lunch because of how much I wanted to play this game. I mean, considering what they do in 4, it might be intentional. But I always thought that the stuff in 4 was that way by in-universe design, not by out-of-universe design. Like, the characters made them look that way. At least that's how I always took it. Wow, we're fighting you a bit early, aren't we? Okay, cool. That's cool. I'm cool. Good morning, Venom. Okay, it's gonna take forever. We're just gonna brute force a little bit because I have the ability to buy more healing items. And done. Yeah, I used to have a... I guess I shouldn't say used to. I still have a philosophy. If there's something that you don't want to do, it's better to just get it over with than to try and procrastinate on it, you know? Just be done with it. It's nuked. It's gone. Never have to think about it again. Because it be done. New weapon! Yay. Oh, wait, no, that's not a new weapon. Never mind. Boo! Welcome back to Devil May... I'm your host. Okay. Got it all out. I love that skybox. Look at it. It's so beautiful. Let's just bum rush this a little bit, shall we? Who's that? I'm here to play Lucia May Cry. The player may cry. I like how that just happens, by the way. We're just standing nearby and it's like... They never explain why that blows up. It just does. It's just like, yeah, no. This is an explosion now.
Where's Mathieu? Mathieu? Mathieu?
Good grief. They really made a big mess, didn't they? It sure took him a while to find this place. Oh, you have arrived, son of Sparta.
You knew him?
Oh, yes. We are the guardians of this land, Vidumali. Our clan once fought against the demons with Sparta, son of Sparta. We must ask this.
Letting it play on the off chance there's something different.
You see, there's a man who's transformed our land into a demon's paradise. His name is Arias.
He has 2 voice actors.
President of an international public corporation.
Called Capcom.
Uses the demon power. Please deal with Arias and his master for us.
Looks like it's your lucky day.
Wonderful. I am very pleased. It leads to a harbor. If you are successful, I will tell you a story about your father, son of Sparta.
Let's see. Should I keep playing this game?
Claim the other Arcanus, my dear.
Coin says no.
Here is the bastone. Now we have only one piece remaining. I believe that it is in the ruin.
I know.
To go in after the guy I just sent in there to get the... Look. Sense making is not here for, okay? Just go. So, what? Did we... What? Huh? We just went down into the ruin, which is a level we did on Dante, and now we're in the city. I get it, but that's still terrible sequencing, which I've already complained about, so I don't have anything new to add. By the way, hi, Killer Bee. Okay. Well, thankfully we don't have to fight the monkey again. Hi, Zach Taft. Cool. So we got a new sword. That's always neat. I'm sure they're very different in style and approach to our current ones. Probably Dakota. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Somebody do me a favor and Google the damage values of the weapons for Lucia. Assuming such information even exists somewhere, but if it does, I'd like to know it. Please and thank you. Like how much damage each sword does at each level, kind of a thing, you know? I mean, hidden moss, if you can think of a positive, I'm listening. I had one positive in mind, and the game decided, no, I don't get that positive. So it didn't get it. That's true, we might give the most arbitrary plus to New Game Plus I've ever seen in my life. No exact values? Wow. Well, assuming your information is correct, we should probably go with the short range then. Hello, Mr. Red. You know what to do. You must highlight this entire game! Bloody Palace will not get a positive in this one. Actually, I already thought about that. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and upgrade the third sword if we find... Where is the third sword? I mean, might as well, right? Let's speed this up as much as we can. So, where's the third weapon for her? Like, at least a mission number would be helpful. Mission 10, Broken Bridge. Got it. Mission 10, Broken Bridge. Mission 10, Broken Bridge. What do you want about this exact same animation? Horse. Wow, there's actually speedruns of this game. I'm vaguely shocked by that. Wow. In fact, there are 5 categories for this game. You can guess what they are, of course. The low right. Okay. Make sure that's equipped, because I'm looking, because I'm stupid. Yep, okay, cool. No, this game doesn't get a lamentation. What are you talking about? Listen. I can't help it if you can't understand how amazing this game is. I haven't played Yakuza 3, or 2, or 4, or 5, or 6. But that doesn't sound good, Ayawaxo. So guess who's back? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Robo's tall. With refillable double trigger and actually knowing all the weak points, most of these terrible bosses should be a little bit quicker. Not better. Quicker. So I have an odd question for everybody. How exactly do we rank the refight crap? Because there's a lot of different ideas behind how we could do that. We could give each refight its own negative, because each fight sucks, and we're doing it again. We could review them as completely the same fight, because we're being forced to do it again. We could give a generic refight negative. We do that to Mega Man, for example, although Mega Man fights tend to actually be good. Yeah, we're in a weird situation, because this is kind of bad. Because it's like double dipping bad. Yeah, as Valvedrix points out, the refights in DMC1 changed the fight each fight. Like each Neo Angel, each Phantom fight was a different fight. Here it's the same fight. Again. Yeah, this is going to come up in 3 as well, you're right. 4, I don't remember if they're exactly the same between the two. And 5 has a couple of things, so... Oops. Let's use the right buttons, shall we? I feel comfortable giving each iteration a negative. Honestly. Not just to be mean, but because they're bad fights that haven't changed, that we're being forced to refight. That's a good question, actually, Robostal. I'm a little sad you have to ask me it, though, to be completely honest with you. Ignoring the fact that it's linked on the first channel all over the place, there's also the fact that it should be pretty easy to find. It's obviously not. So could someone do me a huge favor and just go pull up the Stream Archives channel and then link it to Robostal, please and thank you? Just so I could not have to pause and get through this as quickly as possible, because I just want to smash through this. Thank you, Mr. Red. Appreciate you. Oh no, it's the infested tank. The greatest enemy known to mankind. You know, one of the greatest, fiction, especially video games, tends to portray certain aspects of real life completely wrong. I know that sounds like a duh, but you know what I mean if you've looked into that. Hacking, flying, size, you know, all sorts of stuff, right? But one of the weirdest little things that's always stuck with me is, in fiction, especially video games, tanks tend to be anti-armor or anti-building, and that's it. Like, tanks suck at everything else, right? No! No, tanks are death machines in real life. And have been. For a really long time. I mean, there's exceptions to that rule, but you get my point. I love how I couldn't hit that damn bird because it was moving. The worst game I've ever played that I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm going to limit myself to games I've reviewed, because a game I've played badly by memory is not the same as a game I've played badly and analyzed. The answer to that, then, is Secret of the Stars on the SNES. Having said that, someday we're going to review... Franbo. Someday we're going to review Ride to Hell Retribution. Also, this game might take that slot. They don't even have a transition. We're just on the oil tanker now. We're just on the oil tanker. I think I'm comfortable with that multiple negative thing I just mentioned. So let's just do this, shall we? So we've had to fight Drakengard? Drakengard. Okay. Let's hit the stream breaks for 1 second. Just to make this very clear. So Drakengard scored a negative 27.75. That's really bad. However, below that is Star Trek Shattered Universe at negative 34. Below that is Quest 64 at negative 45. Below that is Mega Man X7 at negative 50. And below that is Secret of the Stars at negative 60. Now, for those of you who don't frequent my stream often, such as Robostall, the way that scale works is it's... I never remember what it's called. The positives scale up slower, right? It's a relatively linear increase on the positive side. But on the negative side, it's fully logarithmic. What that means is, it's actually logarithmic like this, excuse me, not logarithmic like this. So what that means is you have to work much, much harder for a point of a negative in the golden number than you do for a point in the positive. So you really, really have to work to crawl down into the negatives. So anything at a negative 60 is not just double as bad as Drakengard. That's actually probably closer to quadruple off the top of my head. Anyways. Same question, but best. Again, I'm going to limit myself to games I've reviewed. In which case, I believe the current winner is Portal 2. I'm not actually 100% on that. But Portal 2 is definitely way up there on the top. Having said that, I am actually pretty certain that when we get down to it, the audit of GTA 5 is going to stop. I think GTA 5 is actually going to be the best game I've ever played. Yeah, Mass Effect 2 is not that far behind Portal 2, and neither is Metroid Dread, which is way up there as well. Oh yeah, GTA 5 will probably crack the 300 marker. It's gonna be crazy good. It's got some flaws to it, but GTA 5 is just stupid good. Now, as a question, if you prefer GTA 4, is it because of the narrative? No judgment, I'm just asking. Because GTA 4 scored really badly on the gameplay axis. A statement I stand behind, I feel like adding. Whereas GTA 5 has what I seek out most in a video game. High gameplay, high story. Good mission design, good pacing. Good gunplay, good traversal, good overall design. good itemization. Just name a category of game design. GTA 5 probably does it well. GTA 5 even has the mechanic to bypass the accidentally skipping dialogue. Okay. Why is this your power station? Why are you using demonic power? What is this, Doom? I'm sorry, DirectD. I apologize. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, by the way, I opened the guessing game back up since we're still going. So if anybody wants to keep guessing, you are more than welcome to. Only go down from here. There it is. I see it. Thank you, DirectD. I do appreciate those bits, and I do appreciate your support. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, there is actually some platforming in GTA 5. It's not the best. It's not, like, up to the level of a platformer. But it's not bad. Which is better than you'd think for a GTA game. Although GTA 5 also does something that, in my opinion, critically, helps it sit above all the rest of the GTAs. Combined, even. And that is the fact that GTA 5 doesn't have a mission that pisses me off. And you might think, what? But no. Seriously. How many of you who have played the GTAs extensively can think of at least one mission in every GTA game where it's just like, oh, it's that mission. And it varies. It varies from person to person. But there's always one mission where it's just like, ugh, I have to do that mission. Yeah, like, for example, several people think of San Andreas as the greatest GTA game. The problem is San Andreas has the zero missions and the flight school. Also, San Andreas kind of falls apart the moment you get to Vegas, as I showed off when we were doing the lore run. Okay, so I opened the door. Hold on. So I actually don't know where to go here. Oh yeah, also the Area 51 assault, which just... Also, GTA 5 is the first GTA to do two things very right. In addition to the thing I just mentioned, so I guess it's three things. Ah, there we go. Maybe? Or is this just backtracking? What? Okay, so now we have the evil heart. Which I can't even look at. Lost my train of thought. Two things right. Mid-mission checkpoints and music. GTA 5 avoids the absolute nightmarish aggravation of the fact that no music plays during 90% of the gameplay, which is a problem that every GTA has up to 5. Even 4 has the total silence as you're going about doing the missions problem. That's an interesting question, Oiwaksu. Oh, how do I pronounce your name? I want to say Iowakso, but I also don't want to screw it up. Anyways, I'll answer your question. We're gonna call you I for the moment. So... It's a more complicated issue than a basic one, but the problem isn't the fact... Like, a lot of people say game development gets more expensive. That's not valid. That's not really a valid answer to the situation. It's a true statement, but it's like saying, I can't believe you're going to spend extra money on Taco Bell today when there are puppies that go unfed in Nicaragua. Like, whether it's true or not has no real bearing on reality or the point that's being made here. Hmm. Cool. So, what I mean by that is game development costs may have gone up under certain circumstances due to deliberate actions. And inflation is a real thing, although that's a whole other topic. What am I doing? That I don't actually want to discuss right now. But inflation is... you know what? Can we just leave inflation out of it? Because if we bring inflation into it, then the only thing I could say without spending 2 hours discussing inflation is that inflation is an invalid reason to raise the price. Let's just say that and move on. So, if we ignore inflation, the only remaining reason is because of 2 big factors. One, games developers have been insisting more and more upon spending more and more upon certain titles. Game development itself hasn't actually gotten more expensive. In fact, it's gotten cheaper in several ways. What am I listening to? There's more tools available for more reasonable prices and more people who have more understanding and more capacity to design than there ever has been. In fact, I would be so bold as to say that I think, don't have perfect evidence of this, that game development is cheaper now, even for AAA, than it used to be. Now, if you're hearing this and you're thinking, Lore, how can that possibly be? Ignoring inflation, but also everything they keep telling us, why do they keep saying it's more expensive? Because they're not spending that extra money on the game. The game development isn't more expensive. It's everything else. I think that's the bad guy. So, we've got marketing budget, which, obviously good marketing is good marketing, but most developers and publishers wouldn't know good marketing if it walked up and smacked them in the face. The second thing we've got is spending way too much money on the overhead, both good overhead and bad overhead. Then you've got the ridiculous amount of money that has to be cycled back into the investors in order to make sure that the company is constantly making more money. That's 3 giant siphons of money, none of which have anything to do with game development being cheaper or more expensive than it used to be. Also, there's the jester from the third to last fight.
Well, it appears that the defect is back.
Defect?
You are my creation.
Liar! Mathieu is my mother.
She merely found you when you were about to be disposed of, and then raised you as a soldier. Is that what you consider to be a mother?
No! I don't believe you.
Look. You have the mark on your shoulder. Proof that you're a mannequin. Kai. That is your real name. Now, give me the Arcanas. With them, my power will be complete, and I will become like the immortal Argosax.
Oh, they name him. Holy crap.
Absolute wisdom and transcend all. The world is already warped. Everything that belongs to the devils will eventually revert to its original form. Even you will betray your upbringing and turn on the humans. Accept it.
Oh god, it's the Mothra fight. Anyways, so Plutonius says, modern audiences continuously insist upon higher production values, which is what's driving cost of development up. Okay, so I don't disagree with that, but I disagree that it's a valid excuse. Let me use a parallel here, because I don't know how to explain it linearly, because I don't know how to talk without using analogies. Let's say that you run a restaurant, and your restaurant goers are like, hey, that was great, but, like, could you give it to me 5 seconds faster? And they never stop saying that. Now, let's assume that this same restaurant then starts arguing that they need to start charging more and more money, and basically becoming a worse company and making everything worse, simply because they need to keep up with this, let's call it what it is, artificial demand. Like, it's a cyclical thing here. Insistence upon trying to maintain the level of income that they're going for is exactly what's driving the desire to reach as large of an audience as possible, which is exactly what's causing the costs to go up, which is exactly what's causing them to insist on raising their prices, which is exactly what's causing it. It just goes around in a circle, and I've already lost track of it because I'm trying to keep track of the fight, because those stupid things can absolutely piss me off. Yeah, those guys right there, thank you. But I hope you get my point, and I hope I'm getting across at least partially, because I'm probably not. I could summarize my point very clearly. Modern audiences continuously insist on higher production values. Sucks to be them. Ah, I can. Yeah, she just has infinite knives that she can just toss out. Forever. Also, while I'm on the subject, I feel like modern audiences demand such and such sounds a little bit too much like modern audiences require mobile gacha games that are horrifically predatory and frankly horrible. Because you could argue that, because those games make literally billions of dollars. But I feel like that's not really analyzing the reality of the situation. Wow, I could not get up again. That is such a... Have I given a separate negative for that? I don't think I have. I meant to, but I don't think I ever gave that negative. No, I never did. Let's go and give that negative. Yeah. Yeah, the modern audiences demand predatory practices. Modern audiences demand horrific monetary policies. I don't understand the question, Noctis Soul. Do you have an example for me? Now, that being said, I do think that the... Nope, can't get out of that one. I do think that the idea of... I can't even think what it's called now. Thingy Mabobber Wong. Jesus Christ. Christ, I hate this fight so much. Oh god, and now I'm just thinking about other things and trying to keep track of these goddamn larvae! Okay, the Thingamabarbawar, which is, Space Camp! It's your dance to your chance, it's the Space Camp! Alright, 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 alright. Okay, right. There's a concept, which I myself have talked about a lot. It's, I usually refer to it as broad audience, but what it means, in more simple terms, is the width of the ocean, but the depth of the puddle, right? That's a broad audience game. That also applies to movies and books and shows and music and all kinds. Generic is a word often used for that, but what it means is the same general thing. It is something that is designed to be liked by as many people as possible, and therefore, by design, is as undesigned as possible. Unappealing as possible, right? The visual I always like to do, and I'm doing this mostly for the highlight reel, because I know you've seen this all the time, is you can either focus all out here and get all these people, or you could focus up here and get just a smaller group of people, but really get these people, really have, you know, a really high-quality product within that particular avenue, whatever it is you're going for, right? So, having said that, I do absolutely think that there is a thing amongst a lot of AAA developers of trying to make more games like this, that they want more games like this because, and this just keeps coming back to the same core point, of the fact that they want all the money. They don't want to make money. They don't want to be a successful business. They want to have growth. You'll notice how many things come back to that problem. Where the hell are we?
I was created. That's why I have this ability. Someday I'll attack humans. I have to go.
Yeah, the problem of the quarterly return. I've been talking about that for so many years at this point. So you like underwater sections, right? Right? Tell me you like underwater sections. Lie to me. Lie to me that you like underwater sections. Okay, it's not first person this time. Wow, this control's awful. So Resident Evil is expected to sell 1 million copies. And it's priced at $60. DMC is expected to sell 2 million copies. But took just as much to... What? Okay, I'm not going to question that. It's okay, I think the next mission's underwater. I mean, yes, I would knock to Sex Soul. And the core reason why is something I don't want to get into, if that's okay with you. But... yeah. Surely... Hey, there it is. Come on. Come on. Up. My god, this game. Like, okay, hold on. So let's rewind for a second here. So first of all, let's say you decide to price a game based on how many units you think it's going to sell. That's extremely problematic in every direction. It's also kind of the what do you call it? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you price a game lower, then it will sell more units. Like, that's one of the most fundamental economic principles that exist, which is astonishing given how few companies actually understand that. I'm just going to skip this. We can swim now. They swim now. Might as well go ahead and equip that. Now, put that in. Now, you are, of course, asking... Yeah, selling more of a product also allows you to lower a price. Naturally, most companies don't do that because if they sell more of a product, they want to make more money, growth. So they don't actually think about any sort of long-term sustainability. They just want to make more money now, quarterly report, yada, yada, yada. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you get the overall idea. Now, in a philosophical sense... Wow, that... I have it on, right? Yeah, I have the enhanced ability to move in water on. Okay. That's just draining my devil trigger, so something's up here. Okay, well, anyways, while I figure this out, so the hypothetical situation of would I be okay with... Would I be okay with a niche game charging more because it's a better game? That's very dangerous territory for a lot of reasons. Because the only way that would be okay with is in reality land, which is not where we live. We're talking about corporate land here. If you somehow know that your game is good before it comes out, which I should probably mention sounds like a weird statement, but historically speaking, most people do not seem to know that games are good before they come out. And decide to charge more for that game because it's a better game, that's a little bit questionable. And on the face of it, paying more, because that's real... Jesus Christ, this is so irritating. Hang on a second. Paying more for higher quality just makes a basic amount of surface level sense, right? Like, this is a good product, therefore I'm paying more of it for it. We're cool. But again, that only applies on like a tip system. And there's no real way to practically implement such a thing, right? Unless you do tip DLCs, which... Now that I'm saying that out loud, I should probably mention there are game developers, usually small indie developers, who have implemented tip DLCs. I should explain what I mean by that for those of you, especially for those of you who don't live in the United States. So there's this concept in the United States called tipping. It's problematic and has a lot of problems with it, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, you did a good job. I want to give you a little bit of extra money on top of your salary as a thank you for the high-quality service I just received. That's the tip, right? Tips... Yeah, exactly. Head-On actually does you have a tip DLC. Come on, game. My God, come on. It is a DLC that gives you nothing, really. You buy it because you liked the game, and you want to give them a tip. Make sense? Now, as I'm saying this out loud, I would actually be pretty in favor of this kind of a system if this was the kind of thing that a company wanted to start implementing. The problem is I don't think that that would be feasible from a long-term financial perspective, and of course it would be abused to hell and back, because you know it would. But just in reality land, and not financial land, I, the individual... Jesus Christ, this goddamn game! Why? Do you not understand what the button jump means? Why are you programmed this way? What monkey decided to crawl out of what primordial ooze and just flop around on the ground, and then all of a sudden, 5 seconds into your newbound existence, you were like, oh, hey, I've decided to make a video game! And then you made Ride to Hell Retribution. But then you decided to make this piece of garbage! I feel like making a system for tip DLCs would go amiss. I don't think that would work out all that well. And I feel like, you know, the modern audience thing that Plutonia was just talking about would probably get in the way, because there probably would be the masses, I hate to use that phrase, but, you know, the common audience or whatever, would look at that and be like, I need X, Y, or Z. And then tip DLCs would go from being, please give a little bit of extra money to the developer, to... here's a bunch of extra money for, you know, some completely unrelated thing, or for some bonus, or from some actual in-game benefit. At that point, it's just a microtransaction. Worse, and this is the worst part, I guarantee you that extra money that we'd pay for tip DLCs wouldn't go to the developers. which is where it should go. And yeah, honestly, yeah, Kickstarter benefits are already a tactical, tangible, tactile version of what I'm talking about. And then there's the problem of expectation. Like it or not, human psychology tends to lean towards, I have done X, therefore I expect Y. And that has its whole huge list of problems. Anyways, this is a massive answer to your question. I hope it's getting somewhere approaching an actual answer. It's funny that the worst part of the underwater level was when we go above water. We go into the air. It's okay, there's no underwater boss at least. You gotta... There you go. What's called Arsenal. Oh, I cannot move while shooting that. That's great right there. You know, in a game where you can't aim, which is focused on lock-on, making a boss who has the ability to break your lock-on just feels a little bit mean, you know? I don't know, maybe that's just me. Also, what is this camera? I can see the boss, but I can't tell where the boss is, and I frankly can't even tell where I am. Look at this camera! Here, look at this camera for a second. What the crap? Georg is a better fight than this. So's the dude in Twilight Princess I can't think of the name of. Morpheal, that's it. Hogger's a better fight than this. You know what? That is an objectively true statement. You know why? Because Hogger is a fight that will probably actually get a plus to gameplay. And this is a fight that will absolutely get negatives to gameplay. Therefore, by objective truth, Hogger is a better boss battle than this. And in fact, every boss in this game that we've so far seen. You can quote me on that. The closest thing to a good boss in this game, and the only boss I didn't give a negative for, is the final form of Argosax. That's as good as it gets. Negative to gameplay. I'll wait till I save. I don't think this game is going to break any records, but give me a second. Let me get to a save. Let me get to a save. Get out of this nightmare hellscape. God, why did you spend the extra time on the Lucia levels? Why did you do this? I know why. Some person in a suit said, you should do this so it's better. And that way we can, you know, be like, hey, look, it's got this new feature. God, I hate everything. All right. Hold on. You asked me, will this game break any records? It's a good question. It might. We have actually passed Quest 64, I think. Hang on. Nope. We have just passed Quest 64 in terms of gameplay negatives. That's really impressive. There's obviously other factors and other figures that go into that, but just in terms of raw numbers, we have not passed Secret of the Stars yet. And we're nowhere near Tor, which sits at the king on the bottom at negative 204 to gameplay. But that's an MMO, different scale, just mentioning it for the sake of amusement. How many missions does she get again? I'm sorry. $13. Oh, jeez. Well, we're halfway. Over halfway. Yeah, ironically, this game would score much better if the Lucia campaign didn't exist, which is not the first time I've said that about a game. No, FF14 1.0 would still be worse than this game. Every time someone asks that, I look at them weird. So I'm going to look at you weird for a second, Benicia. FF14 1.0 is above and beyond anything that you're looking at here. Like, that is way, 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 way worse than any of this. Why do you have that equipped? Yeah, seriously, go watch the first hour of my FF14 run. I go as much in depth as I can feasibly go into FF14 1.0. If I actually sat down and reviewed FF14 1.0, granted MMO scale, it would be the worst game. Period. FF14 1.0 is the worst game I've ever played, regardless of the MMO variable. Kind of like how WoW is the best game I've ever played, but again, MMO scale, so... I could see him saying that, Zingtaft. Whoops. By the way, I like how we've gone from brown to gray. Really helps keep things livenly, you know? It's nice to give my eyes a rest from all the brown. Now, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure if EverQuest would actually score worse than FF14 1.0. Because EverQuest was its own beast, you know? And wasn't a video game, by most metrics. Like, I know that sounds like a strange statement, but at that point, are we just going to start reviewing software programs? That's true, Blade Traval, but I'm pretty confident. Also true, Robostall. There's kind of a finite amount about how much we can understand the terribleness that that was. Positive in EverQuest? Interesting point. I don't know. Like, there's lore to that series, but I'm not sure how much of that is actually in the game. I've already been here. I don't think I went up. Let's try going up. Oh, hey, it's that terrible puzzle. Again. Probably the exact same puzzle. Sorry, I used puzzle without putting the quote-unquotes there. I could review Minecraft. In fact, I hope to someday. It won't be a particularly long stream. Probably about 3 or so days. Behold, puzzle design. Oh, no. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was. It's still bad. Hey, we're gonna make you do tight platforming with platforms where you can barely see the platforms. Does that sound cool? Is everything cool with that? You know, there's something vaguely comforting about the fact that I keep finding worse games. Like, the fact that we can just keep tunneling down. Well past the bottom of the barrel at this point. Well, I never played the Lucia campaign, Justin, so... kind of by definition, yes. I'm ready, Hazardous. I'm ready. Why do you keep equipping that? Stop that! Croatia! Honestly, I will not be surprised if this game surpasses Secret of the Stars. I really won't. It's awful. But if it does, I think it will do so because of the Lucia campaign. Which is funny if you think about it. Oh, God. Yep, we'll finally review Diablo Immortal at the very, very, very bottom of everything. I mean, while some of the top games on the list right now are games I knew were great, Metroid Dread is not that long ago, really. I already fought you. As Lucia. I mean, ironically, all the behind-the-scenes material perfectly explains why this game is terrible, Blade Traval. And the best part is this game was... The game we're playing right now was actually made by talented people who knew what they were doing. Which is just hysterical on every level, really. Although it probably wasn't particularly funny at the time.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes. Now we can stop Arius's ambition.
Whatever.
But actually, I do not deserve this power. Bring this to Mathieu for me, please. I've got something that I need to take care of.
I mean, yeah, no, that is actually pretty upsetting. Hazardous. Not upsetting as in bad. That's an upset, is what I mean by that. So good on you. I've decided to back Croatia instead of Spain now. In case we have any more underwater levels. Nope, I'm good.
For a defect, you show promise. But did you really think you could deceive me? Have you come back to me, Kai?
I'm Lucia.
How did he know instantly?
Don't call me Kai.
Then why did you come here? Let me guess. You seek my death.
Die!
Okay. Let's see if he's more engaging than the other time we fought him. Did they really, Hazardous? Hang on, I think I got some crow lying around here somewhere. Yeah, this fight is almost identical. In fact, it is identical to the last time I fought him. It was just that bad then. And we're done.
You lose, Kai.
Yeah, you can tell by the fact that you kicked my ass for like 30 solid seconds.
That man is going to bring me the Arcana shortly. You will live to see that.
That's just a piece of crap.
Oh, Arcana.
Here's another 3 for you.
You know, they never explain how Argosax actually completes the ritual and opens the portal. Like, he's supposed to be sealed away, and you need the Arcana to unseal him. But he doesn't have the Arcana, and he never did. So, somehow, it still works. Never explained.
Your swan song will.
You cannot win. Someone is holding you back.
Forget about me. Kill Arius.
Don't
Like-
worry.
There's plenty of ways to make that kind of a plot moment work, but they don't do anything here. It's just, yeah, no. Portal completed. Why? Oh. Lol, hazardous. Well, anyways, so that was mission, whatever that was. That sucked. Listen, role reversal is for good games,
Save me.
which this is not.
I was created by him.
Every hero has a weakness.
Mine is Reese's Pieces.
Activated.
I can't stop eating them. They just, oh, please, someone stop me,
But how are you going to enter the building? The entrance is...
Where there's a will, right?
Mother.
Yes, it is true that we are not tied by blood.
You can tell because you're twice my height.
Our ties are bound by history and experience, which is much deeper than blood. Now go. Everything I know, I have passed on to you. You are my daughter.
Now go eat of the Cliffoth fruit.
Thank you, Mother.
Just like Mundus did. Now go buy diesel clothes. Ah! Oh, mission 10. Well, thankfully I don't have to hit all these... Oh. Okay, fine. You know what? No. No. I can do better than this. I mean, this is literally Lucia May Cry 2 featuring Dante. I'm not actually joking about that in any real way. Come on, game! Why? Notice they're in different positions, so I'm gonna have to find them all over again. So that's cool. No, Mr. Red? That's a very strange question. And comes out of absolutely nowhere. Mr. Red, I'm afraid you're secretly sexist. And racist. And you're also, what else? What's the other insults that are tossed around nowadays? To, like, completely shut down someone's argument. Oh, yeah, you're Hitlerist. That's it. Or fascist, excuse me. Whatever they call that nowadays. How could you be so fascist, Mr. Red? We trusted you. You're cyclist! How could you be so cyclist, Mr. Red? Don't you know cars are the future? Why don't you have a car? What's wrong with you? You some shut-in weirdo who uses public transport like a loser? Real people have cars! Is a real attitude that exists in the country I live in. If you're wondering, for those of you who didn't see me do this last time, I'm not jumping around just for no reason, because it's actually slower. I'm doing this so that the camera will bounce around so I can see where the little levers are. Oh, the Reapers are super cyclist. Oh, don't even get me started. Oh yeah, I gotta eat grass. Very important. 2 more. What, the car thing? God, I mean, I could name like 15 people off the top of my head, Lunarid, but it is a very common attitude here in the States. It's right up there with the fact that you are a loser if you still live with your parents. Usually the word commie is used somewhere in there. Or pinko, if you prefer. Now, I've never seen the truck thing. I've never seen someone insist that you have to have a truck to have a real vehicle. But I've heard of that happening. That's also true of Chester Copperbot. Although, there's other layers to that I don't want to get into right now because that gets into urban planning and financial stagnation, neither of which are topics that we really want to talk about right now. Oh, there's the short weapon. I'd believe that. I've only been to Texas, okay, a lot, actually. But the point being, every time I go to Texas, the truck thing does kind of tend to rear its head a little bit. Love that camera angle. Hope it wasn't on the right, because we've looped. I mean, so where I live, public transit isn't feasible. Public transit isn't feasible. Like, if I wanted to use public transit to go visit my family every week, I couldn't. That is an hour drive. That's straight shot. No routes exist to acquaint that. And even if they did, it would probably be multiple routes, considering I'm crossing counties and cities in the process. There it is. Now, you might say, oh, so you're pro-car. No, I'm pro-city design. Which, again, goes back into the urban planning argument, which we're not going to get into right now. Oh my god. Fine! Fine! You all get to die! You get a death! You get a death! There are countries in the world, not going to name names, that have a thing where even, like, a random village in the middle of nowhere has a stop on a train, on one of the main trail transits. So, under those kind of circumstances, like, if I could just head to the local train, god damn it, that pisses me off. Head to the local train station, and then take a train up to see them, and then take a train back, that would actually work out pretty well. It doesn't work that way because that's not the country I live in. What? I keep just, like, rating off because of how much movement she has in her attacks. Jesus. That's true. I would never expect a public designer... Blah! I would never expect a public transit designer or a city planner to actually do their freaking job. Yep, I'm a fascist! You knew it! You got it! Shark supremacist, that's me. Go Sharks. Not the team, they suck. What are you... Oh, Jesus. What are you looking for, Ghost Rider? Maybe I can help you out here. Texas has one of those weird situations, economically speaking, because on the surface level, Texas has this super strong economy. But in reality land, it actually doesn't. And explaining that would take me several hours, so I'm just going to end that discussion right there. That would be !next or !upcoming. Both will get you the same answer. Either way, the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll be starting Devil May Cry 3 tomorrow, and finishing it Monday or Tuesday or whenever it takes. And then 4 will start next week, and 5 whenever 4 is done, obviously. I can't tell what's happening now, but that's okay, because neither can the camera. The Long Dark will start immediately after the Devil May Cry block is done, which is also on the next page, on the upcoming page. He became a PS1 boss. Truly, the most horrible of fates. F's in chat for Phantom. I have no idea, Killer Bean. There is no average game time. It doesn't work that way. We finish the game when we finish the game, and we move on when we're done. By definition, there's not really a... Like, I'm going to play this game for 3.776853-2 minutes. Doesn't work that way. I have no idea. Let's try out our supposedly higher damage weapons here. Ironically, my average game time is much shorter than your average playthrough, but that's me. I mean, that might take a minute, Ross, not gonna lie. So, this is one of the more challenging fights in the game. Very little margin for error. Even a slightest screw-up could lead to catastrophic failure. I mean, that's pretty much my life, Robostall. Terrible, boring, awful life, but it's okay, because I get stream chat. Came a little close there, but first try, so... well, technically, I kind of came straight from YouTube to stream, so I kind of had a pre-baked audience. Having said that, as far as having regular activity on my stream chat, it took a few years. I'll never get the FF Marathon and the long, empty swaths of nothing, because there wasn't anybody talking. Second to last mission, by the way. We're actually slamming through this, which is great. I almost feel bad for throwing up the cheat flag. Almost. Could you link me that on Discord instead, Hazardous, so I don't have to... like, pause stream, basically? Oh, I remember Valvedrix. Set up our own IRC channel just for the stream. Thanks. So, this is gonna sound pathetic, but I don't mean it like that, Linearuth. I'm used to it. You kind of get used to doing something because you want to, and nobody giving a damn. I mean, how many people do you think have actually watched the World of Lorecraft series? I poured my heart and soul into that. Nobody cares. Same thing with the theater. And the same thing with a lot of things back in the day. You know, did you know I've been writing music since I was in high school? Nobody listens to my music because nobody cares. So you kind of get used to it after a while. And after a while, I decided to just sort of do it for myself. You know? I wanted to stream, so I streamed. I wanted to do the Lorecraft, so I did that. I wanted to do the theater, so I did that. I want to do the rewrite, so I'm doing that. It's cliched, but it's true. Also, I'm happy to hear at least a few people watch the Lorecraft series. Absolutely, Loner. There have been plenty of points in my life where I have not been capable of having a creative outlet. All. That sucked. Like, to use the equivalent for Linearuth, imagine you just can't sing, can't guitar, can't anything. For years. It's right! We're gonna get up here, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right! Or, I mean, sorry, hi. Dude, so I had one of my commenters recently say, hey, I've looked for name of video and I can't find it. So I gave them a link to it, and they were confused, like, that's what I was searching for, why didn't I find it? My response was, if you ever wondered what me and other YouTubers are talking about when we say that YouTube buries our videos, you have now experienced it firsthand. Because YouTube turbo buries my channel. I think I literally do everything wrong to get YouTube to self-promote me on the algorithm. Length of videos, types of videos, I don't do the shorts, I don't do the posts or the comments, or the polls, excuse me. I filter comments as they come in, which actually hurts some of the internal figures. I don't monetize. Just everything wrong. Yeah, no clickbait. I don't farm for views. Yeah, I don't chase trends. Like, seriously, you can just go down the list. I do everything wrong. On purpose, obviously, but still. Don't like, share, subscribe. I hate that crap. God, I hate that crap. I hate all of it, but that's been such a pet peeve of mine for so many years. Like, comment, and subscribe! Did you know that statistics show that
If you actually tell someone to like, comment, subscribe, they are 30% more likely to do so.
Hate that crap. Oh yeah, I don't do sponsored videos while we're on the subject. I mentioned not monetizing, but that's, you know, advert stuff.
Less than 50% of my viewers click my subscribe button. And that's why today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. And me hitting the wrong button. There we go.
Wow, it'd sure be helpful to know where I am right now, but whatever. Actually, I've gotten back into that habit, Lunaruth. I don't really have a reason for why I fell out of it, though. Today we're being sponsored by Established Titles. Oh, Jesus.
Where's my Beetle stuff? Brought to you by Beetle Stuff. It goes in your nose!
We've actually talked about that a few times, Ross. At the end of the day, the answer is no. Even a theoretical sponsor that I actually support wouldn't be worth the loss of face and trust to do so, and they wouldn't be able to afford me, to be blunt. I haven't had time, Lunaruth. I did, however, see that someone else whose name I can't think of right now did do a video on Established Titles. But yeah, like... There's two problems with... I've talked about this many times, so forgive me for the repetition. There's two big problems with sponsorships, for me. One is, if someone sponsors me, and I take that sponsor, there's an automatic assumption that exists, a valid one, I might add, that implies or states outright that I'm just doing that for the money. I'm just shilling. In other words, don't actually buy this thing because I'm not actually sponsoring it. It's just they're paying me to sponsor them, which is a big difference. Even if I actually meant that, even if I legitimately wanted to say, go play Star Trek Online, it's a great game, which you should, because it is, it doesn't matter because there's an automatic presumption of the shilling, right? There's nothing I could ever do or say to make you convinced that it's something I actually support. It'll always just be a sponsorship. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is sponsors don't pay all that much for videos for channels as small as mine. I can get sponsorship videos. I've looked into it a couple times because, of course, I have. This is my job. No. No, it's the heads. It's the heads. Ugh. Anyways, they don't pay much. We're talking maybe $500 for a sponsorship, which may sound like a lot, but when you consider that that's probably one sponsor, maybe a month, $500 a month is nothing.
You fool. Everyone is destined to die.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. The only companies that even offer sponsorships are companies that I don't want to sponsor. I've actually talked about that before a lot. If you ever see a company spend way too much on advertising, that's a bad sign, not a good one. Like, have you ever... Yeah, NordVPN is... I was actually just about to use that example. Speaking of someone who used to be a network engineer, NordVPN is the worst VPN I have ever seen. Or Manscaping, or Raycons. They're all crap. All of them are crap. NordVPN... Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know how to summarize that, Ghost Rider. I don't know how to summarize that. They're awful. There's the summary. They do everything wrong. That might be a way to put it. The severity to which they throttle your connection is worse than most VPNs, which most VPNs do that. But NordVPN really throttles you. Also, their interface is awful, and in many cases takes way too long to actually properly connect, and likes to just fall apart randomly and just stop working for no perceived reason. The best VPN I'd have to look up, because it's something you've never heard of. And that's why they're the best VPN. Because they don't need to have that kind of market saturation in terms of marketing. They're just the best product. I do not use the VPN most of the time, because there's no reason to. That's the other thing, but I don't want to get into that argument right now. I've never heard of Atlas, so I can't say anything about that as it is. Hold on one second. VPN. Search here. Private internet access. There you go. There's the professional network engineer in me can recommend that if you want to get a VPN. By the way, I don't recommend you get a VPN. But if you want to get a VPN, that's the one I recommend. How did I... I mean, if you want to get a VPN, go for it. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money, but if you're going to pay money for literally nothing, I mean, I feel like there's better ways to use that, you know what I mean? To be clear, there are valid reasons to use a VPN. Let's be very clear about that. None of those apply to me, so I don't really care. I don't need to access any software or streaming or whatever from another country. I don't travel often, so I don't need to care about the fact that I'm suddenly in France when I used to be in Britain. I mean, let's be honest, that was mostly Comcast's fault, but you are correct, Valvrix, of course. Yeah, you ever just suddenly wake up and you're in France? It's weird how often that happens. That's an interesting question, Hazardous. I think it would depend mostly on what you're after. Having said that, no, actually, I'm arguing it with it in my if you're caring about stability, I would say Spectrum is worse than Comcast, yes. I mean, Spectrum's pretty far down the list. It's not great. Most of Comcast's terribleness comes down to them having bad pipes, bad service, bad prices, and them being scummy. But at least their internet is freaking functional. And I know what you're thinking, Lord, you used to have a Comcast emote about how unreliable they are. Yep, and that's how bad things are here in the States, that was the best available option. I mean, I suppose you could argue that it was the only available option, which is valid. But my point is, I would rather have Comcast than a lot of the other available options that exist in the States, because IPs in the States are gutter trash. Thank you, Killer Bean. I do always appreciate. And... I mean, crowdfunding is its own topic and dangerous to lean into too much, but there's a reason that the people who support me are several hundred individuals who all chip in a little bit. And that's the system I have kind of deliberately engendered over the years, or engineered, or however you want to call that, you know? Because, yeah, I could monetize. I could. And I could become a scumsucker in order to try and get the necessary numbers to get that monetization to pay my bills. I'd rather not. So, thank you, Killer Bean, for making it so I don't have to hate my life every day. More than I already do, of course. Hi, Evo. Yeah, the internet infrastructure here in the States is horrific bad. Should have been updated about 20 years ago. Should have been updated about 10 years ago, and should have been updated about 3 or 4 years ago. None of those things happened, of course, so here we are. Oh, excuse me. Oh, for God's sakes. Damp paper towel, Ross. That's an interesting question, Baron. Let me ask the more relevant question. How much would it cost to maintain updated, properly designed internet infrastructure in the US? Much less than you'd think. Don't mistake me, it would be a cost. But most of that cost is the, I can never think what that's called. It's the upfront, right? High upfront, low upkeep. And that's internet infrastructure in a nutshell right there. Getting all that set up, it's going to be expensive. But that Band-Aid needs to be ripped off at some point or another, because there's another economic principle. I guess it's actually more like just a principle of reality. So you can spend a lot to get everything set up properly and then spend very little to maintain it. Or, hear me out, you can spend less to set it up and then spend substantially more to maintain it because it's not set up properly. Guess which one is the internet infrastructure of the United States? All of the Koopalings, Elizar. Every single one of them. I'm not joking. The Koopalings are awesome. In that Mario 4X I've been building in my head for a long time, okay. I've been designing a decent amount of gameplay just around the Koopalings, because I think there's some cool stuff you can do with them. But anyways. Alright, time for the final, super final, no really, final, that's a lie. Time for the third from the final boss fight. You ready for this? So anyways, this is the same cutscene. Yeah, Eleazar, obviously. Mission complete!
You defeated Arius.
I'm pretty sure getting a colonoscopy is better than Devil May Cry 2, Killer Bean.
Kill me. Kill me and everything will be over. I thought I was a descendant of the clan that protects Vie Marly. The ones who have the blood of the devils. But the truth is, I was created by Arius. I could become a monster and attack the humans at any time. Now, kill me. It's your job to hunt devils.
Yeah, if... Overacting. Go watch the beginning of the VOD, Killer Bane. Or the beginning of DMC3 tomorrow. Because I've already explained it, and I'll explain it again. But no, this game bombed critically, but did move 1.7 million units, which is the main reason why we got a DMC3. This game actually sold extremely well.
What? The ritual was incomplete. But the door to the demon world is... Wait. What are you doing?
My job is hunting devils.
No, Cardoon.
Once you enter the demon world, you may never be able to return. I'll go.
Ugh.
I'm expendable.
Have
don't
you
need to
played Devil May Cry 3, Trihexia? Did people actually enjoy this game?
be like a human.
No.
I've never heard of someone enjoying this game.
But
And I've heard defenders of Quest 64.
Let's leave it to fate. Heads, I go. Tails, you go. See you around.
don't you want to hear the story about Sparta from Mathieu?
I know.
No, Mr. Red.
Same thing. Hold on to my coin, Lucia.
Huh? What? I'm awake, I swear.
Dante.
So while Dante goes off and fights the worst boss fight in the game, we get whatever this is.
It seems I have to finish him off myself.
Okay. Yep, time to fight Solidus. So this is what the developers of DMC2 think of the executives at Capcom right here. Just put that in your mind as I'm beating this guy up. I mean, it's probably not true. Maybe. Have you seen a mirror lately? 4 to 6 months, Evo. We're not sure of specifics.
Devils never cry.
Who's Neocortex? I'd probably go with Dr. Wily there, though. Oh, Crash. Yeah, okay. So you like ranged bosses, right? It really is, Evo, unironically. I know that this game is garbage, and I know it's going to be one of the worst games we've ever reviewed. The fact that this game is as playable and unbugged as it is nothing short of a monument to the testament that is Itsuno's managerial skill. I know you didn't see the beginning of the VOD yesterday, Evo, but let's just say that the mess he was handed when he started working this was not playable. Okay, you're just gonna keep hold on to me there. Well, it's okay. I've got a bunch of these I'm just gonna burn. Yeah, you know what? While we're here. Hey, thanks for that. And dead. Oh, and time. Sorry. I think. I'm not actually sure.
You must not worry, my dear. I am sure that he will return. Everything is just as it was with Sparta.
Oh my.
What is it, my dear?
We're the only 2 humans in the entire city. Oh my god, this was literally 90 seconds ago.
It tricked me. That macho.
Devil may flip. There's actually a couple of differences, Lunarith, but yeah. Different final boss. We did it. Now go play as Dante. We can now change into our diesel clothes. Diesel for successful living. Okay, hang on. I owe this to you, so... Who's Charsh, Elizar? Yep, there it is. Diesel brand. Oh, Crash. Gee, who do I like more? A beloved franchise character who's in a bajillion amazing games? Or an asshole who's in games I hated? That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to think about that for a few years, Elizar. I'll get back to you. So, yeah, that's the Diesel wear. Soak it in. Just take a moment. If you haven't gotten your guess in, this is a really good time to do that. No, it's not Trihexia. Yeah, I would recommend not guessing a positive number. Pro tip. How do you activate New Game Plus? Give me a second. The golden number for Mega Man X7 as of this moment is negative 50.46, which is one of the direct competitors this game is going up against here. Oh, the chap. You're right. I just did the chapter select. God, I'm an idiot. Yep, nope, we have everything. Ladies and gentlemen, plus the gameplay. Go, go, go. Bah, 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 bah. You go to the document, the spreadsheet that is just popped up on chat, and you go down. If you're on mobile, it sucks to be you. If you're on mobile, you ask some nice Samaritan to do it for you. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, behold, 1+ to gameplay. Soak it in. Take it. Just own it. Own it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. A+ to gameplay. Yes, we have actually had a game. Quest 64 had no positives whatsoever. We are soaked in rotten, stinky garbage. And it's literally the last positive we're getting. Until we do the audit, obviously. Speaking of, let's go ahead and do the audit, shall we? So let me pull this up here. Let's get some Mega Man X7 music going here. The other terrible game that came out this year from the same company. I'm sorry, I know we've already talked about this, but I'm gobsmacked by the fact that Capcom put out Mega Man X7 and Devil May Cry 2 in the same year. That is bonkers. I'm mind blown by that. Two of the worst games I've ever reviewed. By the way, Mega Man X7 had more gameplay positives than this. I think it had more story positives than this. Hi, Blow Up Alex. Yeah, I'm doing the audit right now. Just getting caught up a little bit here. I know, Evo. But it did! I believe exclamation mark audit pulls up the audit sheet, which is what I'm going through right now. You can't edit that, obviously. But I believe it's publicly viewable. Yeah, it should be. And if that command doesn't work, then don't stress it. Nobody knows what a V means, blow off Alex. We all know this. Oh, looks like it is there. Yay. Alright, so... I should... That's actually the reason, though, if you're wondering. No, of course, Eleazar. I'm still not going to answer your question. But, you know, it's all good. I'm sure that anything said by game theory has to be the absolute definitive truth. Obviously. Yes, it was Croatia the whole time! I mean, that's valid, Blue Alex. If I'm being completely honest, part of the reason is because I like the viscerality of just piling up X's. Wait, why are the X's green? Why are they green? I mean, at a certain point, I do have to pull back from piling up X's, but, you know. That's when I just straight up do numbers. Like, if we're reviewing an MMO, I'm just going to put up numbers on the screen. Like the WoW review? Oh. That's actually pretty impressive, Linear. Better than anything I've ever done. The only video game I've ever really worked on, well, that's a lie, that I've ever produced by myself was a choose-your-own-adventure game. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to share that clip, the Croatia clip from Mass Effect 1 all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, final story score. -26. Yep. Gameplay time. Well, you missed it earlier, Linearith. Takoida and I both had a theory that this game would not score as bad as it should because it is so absent story. And I stand behind that. -26 is really bad, but trust me, if there was a story here, it would be so much worse. Of the same level of quality of what we're seeing with the rest of the game, by the way. $19 negatives just for boss fights. In a Devil May Cry game. I have not seen Andor nor Kenobi, so no, Kinetic Consular. I mean, I can make one up right now. Andor has the most of Andor of any of the shows coming out currently on Star Wars. Unfortunately, I was a little disappointed by the quantity of Obi-Wan within the Obi-Wan show. I'm pretty sure that's a big fat no, Mr. Red. I checked. I mean, there's worse levels, but I don't think there's worse bosses. Yep, nope, that's as bad as it gets. Alright, let's see here. Really? Pillars of Snow? Oh, wow, Blue Felix. That's impressive. I mean, 13 kind of has a story, although at least there are positives I could think of for 13 stories, so... Shrug. So I've been sitting on this one for a bit. I have to give one more plus to gameplay. So, it's something I noticed because 2 does this, whereas 1 does not. No, we'll be starting 3 tomorrow. It's for guidance and flow of exploration. If you've ever played a Mario game or a Donkey Kong game, you know, Sonic does this a bit too. A lot of platformers do. They use the collectibles as the guides, right? If you're walking through a level and you see this one random coin up by an otherwise unassuming block, you're like, what's that? So you jump up there, and that's how you discover there's something to see there. It's a form of guidance. This game, I almost never got lost in or turned around in, except for the 10th corporate level, which is exactly how I remembered. Specifically because of the fact that they would actually do that. They would have a red orb saying, come over here. This is your next spot. That's in addition to the fact that they would also use the camera swoops, too. And I specifically noticed it because 1 did not do that. 1 was just like, all right, you got the key. Plus the gameplay. We are diluting the purity. That level got its own separate negative, Dr. Winter. In fact, I think I got 2. There's a lot of negatives to this game for the level categories. Replayability. No. I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to ask. Replayability. No. Moving on. This is X's theme? Civilization 6, Evo. Or any 4X game that's worth a damn, really. Also, something like, I'm trying to think of a roguelike that's not Hades. Something like that would get multiple positives. Negative 64 to gameplay. So, let me do some math. Let me figure out some numbers here. So, let's check the golden numbers and some things, but I'm curious here. So, total negatives. 64 does surpass Mega Man X7. Doesn't quite hit Quest 64, which is 65. I'm weirdly nervous where this is going to sit in the trash pile. I'm not sure if it's going to beat Secret. We'll see. It's a lot shorter than Secret. Variance is different, too. That's not right. Hang on, hang on, hang on. That's not right. One moment, please. Out of the glitch. You're joking, right? I'm always curious about that kind of thing, Lunareth. It's the same thing at the top of the list, too. That's just wrong. No, something's actually glitched in the formulas, and you gotta give me a minute here. Now I gotta... a lot of calculations go into the golden number, and I gotta figure out where exactly that's screwing up. Let's do this really quick. I don't know, Lunareth. I don't know. Ah! Where did that glitch come from? Aha! Aha! found it. I found it. Found it. Now, here's the real question. Have any other games had that glitch and I didn't catch it? I'm checking manually right now. What's that right there? Nope. Hang on. I have to make this whole screen so I can see all the formulas at the same time, so I actually cannot. One of the things I like about a 4K monitor is I can see everything when it comes to editing spreadsheets, which I know is probably the geekiest thing I've said today, but you know what? That's okay. We're allowed to be geeks here. It's cool. It's cool. It's interesting. I see what happened. So, one of the things... I'll try to explain this. I'm going to fail at this. But one of the things you have to do when you're doing formulas for numbers that involve multiplication and negatives, as in negative numbers, you have to add negative protection. I don't know what that's actually called, and I don't care. But it's a way to try and make sure that the math doesn't screw up, because multiplying by a negative number works differently, right? Like basic math, right? So some of the formulas here do not have that negative protection built in. So the score that I was getting for DMC2 was negative 481. Which is not possible. As I've described many times, that shouldn't even be available. Like, I don't think FF14 1.0 would score that badly. So that's why I'm like, hold up. This is just... Hold up. Let's figure out what's going on here. So I'm just going to go through and try to replace all of these out-of-date formulas with ones that accommodate. None of the scores are changing as I'm doing this. I'm just double-checking, which makes sense. None of them are negatives. But this way we'll be nice and standardized and won't run into this problem again like we just did. Just gonna be nice and standard about it. Ironically, the one thing that I can't account for is actual zeros. But that's okay, because actual zeros, I just manually punch in the 0. A lot of these. But again, shouldn't actually have any change. We're just doing a little bit of infrastructure overhaul to make sure that their maintenance cost is down long term. Because unlike the United States, I actually give enough of a damn about my frickety job to do the aforementioned job. Calling you out, United States. Lord knows you call me enough. Let's do that. Now you want to hear something funny? There is one game's score which is drastically changed by this, which I find hysterical, for reasons that'll be obvious if you were there for it. Devil May Cry 1's score was screwed over by this. Now, if you don't understand why that's funny, while we were discussing the Devil May Cry 1 score, I was okay with it getting the bad score it did. But even I thought negative 20 was a bit high, and I did, but I couldn't find the bug I was just looking for. Probably because I was looking in a different direction for it. Nothing was indicating that there was a flaw in the what specifically is this? The final score calc. So, Devil May Cry 1's actual golden number is negative 4.59. So, ladies and gentlemen, the one good thing Devil May Cry 2 has done is it's improved the score of Devil May Cry 1. I think I said that wrong, but whatever, you get what I mean. Okay, that's all fixed. There we are. So, Now that that's all repaired, let me punch in the correct numbers again here. And let's see what we got. So, let me do this to make sure it's in the correct order, which it now is. Devil May Cry 2 has a net negative of 26 to story. Yeah, I stand by that. That is a density of 2.6 negatives per hour. I'm unmuted, right? Yep, cool. And a positive ratio of 0. No, Lunarith. The other thing, of course, is the gameplay side of things. Because Devil May Cry 2's gameplay scored negative 64. Which is a density of 6.4 negatives per hour. Which, believe it or not, is not our highest negative per hour density. That would be Mega Man X7. But that's pretty freaking high. Also, our gameplay positive ratio is 2.94%. Which is not a record because we've had games that have 0. All of this gives us our final golden number. Now, before I give you this, at the bottom, we'll start with Drakengard. We've got Drakengard with negative 28.18. We've got Wolfenstein Youngblood with negative 28.40. We've got Star Trek Shattered Universe with negative 34.11. We've got Quest 64 with negative 48.35. We have Mega Man X7 with negative 50.46. And at the bottom, Secret of the Stars with negative 59.45. Ladies and gentlemen, Devil May Cry 2's final score is negative, I know, try to be shocked, 60.76. Just barely inching ahead of Secret of the Stars. Just barely inching over that line. This is the worst game I have ever reviewed. And I've double-checked the notes. And I totally stand by that. And you know why? Do you know why? It's because of the Lucia campaign. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we eject the Lucia campaign from existence, it would be up by Mega Man X7 instead. But with the addition of the Lucia campaign, it takes the crown. And that is why I want to do the Lucia campaign, if you're wondering. So, for the highlight reel, I don't know how to end that. No, actually, I'm not at the highlight reel. What am I doing? First, we gotta do this other thing. So, where's the guessing game? Here, I'll just do this. I think Blade Travol cheated. Blade Travol, stop cheating. There's no, like, objective way to measure it, no, Lunaruth. But, generally speaking, if it is amusing and it clearly wasn't intended to be, that's what I tend to use. I don't think we're going to beat Blade Travol's. I think he's just going to take that. Fix some alignment issues here. Hang on. We're sufficiently close. I actually have to pull out a calculator. Give me a second here. So, Walker is off by 0.54. I'm just going to jot that down here. And Blade Terval is off by 0.23. Wow, that's pretty close. Either way, that is nevertheless going to go towards Blade Terval, who is putting it towards Stranger Paradise. Let's try to find that. Final thoughts. No, for real. I am astonished this game is as much of a game as it is. It's sold well because DMC1 was a smash hit. I wonder what the return figures are like. This game is utter trash. It's understandable why it's trash, but it's still trash. I don't know what else to add to that. Ironically, and for those of you who didn't catch this, if not for the Lucia campaign, it would be better, as is so common at the time. It is surprisingly good, considering it's the worst game I have ever reviewed, given the limitations that were put into it. I don't even know what else to add to this at this point. I really don't. I don't have a final thoughts. Tomorrow, at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be playing Devil May Cry 3, where I'll be suffering in a slightly different way for your amusement, and I do hope to see at least some of you there then.